Serious question, guys. What do you look for in an MMO? The MMORPG genre is kind of in a lull lately. In a world of games where you sit in town and queue up and do activities with people you've never met, there's one game that always drags me back and yet never lets its grip fade. Most of you who frequent this channel know exactly what game I'm talking about. Ultima Online. Ultima Online celebrated its 25-year anniversary in 2022. Ultima as a series was started by Richard Garriott in 1981. But today, let's focus on the online version of that game. Ultima Online is a game where your interactions with people and the environment or game world can go many different ways. Typically, you gain your skills up by doing them over and over again. For instance, if you're a swordsman, you attack stuff with your sword and gain swordsmanship. If you're a master of the arcane arts, you cast your spells over and over and gain magery up. Perhaps you're a miner and blacksmith. You guessed it, you'd harvest the ore from a mountainside or cave and then smelt that into iron ingots, and then you would turn that into armor and weapons that you could then sell on the open market to other players. For me, I remember my father playing this game back at its release in 1997. I was mesmerized by it. The thought of knowing that each individual person in the game world was another person somewhere around the world, it just really blew my 12-year-old mind. Before that, it was IPX cables and 3-player games of Warcraft, Doom, and Command & Conquer with him and my stepmother. My best friend Brady, who I still play this game with today, was able to score a copy, and we'd play at his house every single day after school. We'd get off the bus and run home imitating random monsters from the game, mostly a headless one. We'd literally put our shirts over our head and run back from the bus stop to his house acting like headless ones and making those noises. Thinking about it now though, I'm pretty sure everybody just thought we were imitating Beavis and Butthead. We'd literally trade hour for hour trying to kill stuff just outside of Vesper. Then I'd come home and immediately call him on his home phone number that I still remember today, and he'd give me a play-by-play exactly of what was happening. For us, our free time in school was coming up with business plans to get a house. If we could just make 8,000 gold a night for a week, we'd have enough for a house deed. But then it turned into how we were going to create an awesome guild that eventually we led to our friend slash arch nemesis's house, Tisnod, and tried to murder him, and he single-handedly killed all 8 of us, and thus was the end of that guild. I could literally go on a tangent of some wild stories this game has created over the years that no other game has ever even come close to. And really, it boils down to the interaction between the players, the community, both friend and foe. I think that's really what's been lost in MMORPGs today. Let me take World of Warcraft for example. Whether it be PvP or raids or dungeons, whatever, it's all scripted. Yes, you heard me right. The PvP tends to be scripted. We all have the playbook of rock, paper, scissors to do this or do that based on what your class makeup is versus their class makeup. We really don't know the people we're fighting against on the other side of the arena or battleground. So once again, the lack of community from that particular side is gone. As far as the dungeons, oftentimes it's nothing is said between the other 4 people other than good luck, have fun at the beginning, and then thanks, well played at the end. Furthermore, it honestly feels as if it's just a race to finish your chores. Raids are obviously just scripts, don't get me wrong, they're a lot of fun, but it's just not the same. In UO, there's these little interactions, these tiny little interactions that happen as you're going through a dungeon between players because there isn't instance dungeons or raids. Someone could literally come up, steal the loot from the monster you just killed, thus making them flag criminal for a short duration and allowing them to be attacked. Now the question is, was it on purpose or was it an accident? And is this person baiting you to attack them? And if so, are you sure you can win the fight? Because if you can't and that person kills you, everything on your person is falling to the ground. This is that one game that still gives me the heebie-jeebies as the adrenaline pumps through me when I engage in PvP combat with another player. Even though in the grand scheme of things, anything you lose is extremely and easily replaceable. There's just something about that risk versus reward factor that just really gets you going. And don't get me wrong, this game isn't all PvP though. In fact, that's just a small part of it. Currently on Outlands, a server that is considered by most to be Ultima Online 2, there's an ever-growing community of an average player base of 2,700 online at just about any given time. And if I didn't say it already, it continues to grow. I think a big part of that is the passion for the server and the community. It actually starts at the top, the server owner. Each piece of the map was hand-placed by the server owner, Owen. The coolest thing about it, other than how pretty it looks, that it's very rare that you go anywhere and don't see other players interacting in the world. For instance, in a single dungeon, you could all at once have everything from die-hard PVM template theory crafters trying to maximize their gold earned per hour, and then my personal favorite, thieves running stealthily through the dungeon, stealing magic items from other people's bags. Also treasure hunters picking locks and trying to avoid being seen by monsters as they make their way in and out of dungeons with hordes of loot. Even bands of murderous PKs as they fight their way through monsters to get to players in an attempt to murder them for the goods. Fully decked out guilds marching as one to the boss of that dungeon, each dungeon boss with their own mechanics. Those same guilds keeping PvP characters on the ready in case their boss fight is raided by enemy guilds, or those same PKs attempting to kill people farming gold. Another thing I'd really like to point out, the large amount of role-playing guilds the community has. Shout out to the Guild that has been around since pretty much the dawn of Ultima Online. They not only have a strict roleplay gameplay policy, but they have also created their own language. Yes, you heard me right. Running around on Saturday nights during their what they call Blood Moon, where they ravage the dungeons yelling, "Nugra!" and demanding tribute from any kinds of adventurers, murdering everything in sight until a militia of do-gooders known as the Pathfinders Guild, aligned with many other guilds, rally up to finally push the orcs back to their fort, where typically more battles ensue. But it's not all just orcs and knights. There's the Vile Guild, which is a cult of drow, dark elven assassins, worshipping the void and are very thick with storyline and lore. Another favorite is the Brigand Guild, which, as you could guess, are drunken highwaymen stopping travelers on the roads and demanding loot. Even when they get your loot, there's always a 50-50 chance of them killing you anyways. All the role-playing guilds are involved in an ever-changing, for lack of a better description, Dungeons & Dragons campaign, where basically different events and battles take place to change the tide of the story. It's truly captivating and once again a testament to the game's community. If you have taken a look at my channel here, you will notice many templates throughout the years. Outlands has done an amazing job using some of the old skills in Ultima that were worthless and turning them into useful skills. Like, for instance, camping, for instance, allows you to carry more weight on your adventures, fast travel to different points of interest, as well as increase your damage. Forensic Eval allows you to scavenge rare hides from monsters, increases your effective barding, and also increases your damage. Another one is tracking. This gives you a radar from PKs. It also increases your effective barding and increases your damage, and that's just to name a few. From doing that, as well as adjusting other things to better suit their world, they have made a pretty balanced game where you don't see 100 of the exact same characters running around everywhere. It's always changing as well, and furthermore, there is many amazing player progression systems that allow you to further your player power no matter the type of character you're playing, all of which are disabled in PvP combat to keep someone who has gained maximum experience in their character or mastery chain from melting someone who hasn't. I oftentimes get told they'd love to play UO again, but it's so outdated. So to speak on the technical side of things, Outlands has also forked its own custom client from classic UO, where they have added things such as nameplates, cooldowns, overhead alerts, and all kinds of quality of life perks to bring the game more up to date with other games in 2023. Now, this was based on a project originally started by Jaden, Kershow, and Quick, and with the help of Trank, JFM, Hayes, and other artists, Outlands has and continues to modernize and expand the client, including new artwork, animations, and more. We could spend hours here talking about the different systems that Outlands has incorporated into my childhood game to make it more up to date. I really know that if more people heard about this game and tried it, it would be much larger than it already is. I literally get multiple messages a day from people saying, "Hey, I found this server and I'm just having so much fun. I've never even played Ultima Online before." So help not only myself out, but Outlands in general by liking this video and sharing it with someone looking for a new MMORPG or that used to play UO back in the day. Join both my Discord as well as the Outlands Discord, where the community is extremely helpful in answering questions regarding the game more so than any other community I've ever been a part of. Shout out to the Patreons, the channel members, and you for liking this video. Make sure and come by the live streams most evenings at 8:30 p.m. Eastern if you want to check out the game in a more real-time setting. I hope you guys have enjoyed my trip down memory lane here from Ultima Online Outlands. And guys, wish you the best. I'll see you next time. OwnStar Gaming out.